Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Waffle Press Hangouts. It's the last episode for February 2021. I'm your host, Diego Crespo. With me today is my co-host, Gina Versa.
Hey, how are you doing? It's good to see you. I'm have a space background in honor of the Perseverance Perseverance shuttle launch from NASA, and not that capitalist SpaceX,
Oh, yeah, the one that exploded.
the one that exploded.
Yeah,
We
that's literally a plot point in Succession.
yeah,
Succession is just determining the future of this country, and
yeah,
that's pretty hilarious to me.
yeah. We only
Um,
stand JPL and NASA. Not
yeah,
because
yeah.
not because I have an aunt that works there, but
Oh, okay. I mean, that's not a bad reason either. Family is important. So,
yeah.
but today it's a little more lax show. We're just gonna do some catch up with each other, with the films and television shows we've been watching. Um, and we're going to talk about our Patreon request today, which is Man from U.N.C.L.E, 2015 Guy Ritchie film. So we'll get to that at the end of the episode. That'll take most of the discussion today. But just in general, Gene, what's been up since the last time we talked? We did Sundance episodes. I'm very proud of those.
Mhm.
I'd recommend everyone go check out both of those. So the links in the description down below. But how are you, Gene? What's up? What's new?
No, I'm doing good. I'm healthy and safe, thankfully. I've now been um, at my parents' house for 1 month, but I've been doing a lot on the COVID front. I got my dad vaccinated and my grandpa, who gets his last shot tomorrow. And I put out a video which you should all watch, which is how to register online for the COVID-19 vaccine in LA County.
Yeah,
Um,
I'll link down below for that as well.
right, because the site is a little cluttered, and a lot of elderly people and older people in general have some trouble with the internet. They didn't grow up with it like we did. So whatever helps them out, to get the vaccine so they could stay safe and healthy, trying to do that. And yeah, please check it out.
Yeah, please do. I guess just on the topic of news, then this is obviously far less important than how to get a COVID vaccine.
Right.
But we don't really talk about news anymore. But this time,
No.
I just wanted to bring it up. Ryan Johnson's trilogy is apparently still happening, and we like
Yes.
Ryan Johnson, and we like The
Yeah.
Last Jedi, and we like Star Wars. So I don't know. Do you have any thoughts on that, Gene? Before we get into stuff we've been watching lately?
Yes, I'm really glad that that's happening, because there's just such a misconstrued idea of, you talk to like fans or whatever, I don't know, just everyday people, and they have this like weird, I wouldn't say everyone, but random people have this notion like, oh, The Last Jedi, that was a failure. It's like that movie made $1 billion. It has like multiple reviews. Some fans didn't like it, and they're just loud. So that's good to reiterate that, people did enjoy this movie. Like some friends dad really enjoyed it. They were telling me, and uh, my mom enjoyed it. I think your mom enjoyed it.
Yeah, and my
Uh,
mom doesn't like Star Wars, and she was just like, "That was just a good movie,"
yeah.
like.
Yeah, so I'm glad, because that's just like, just telling all these like grifters online that like, yeah, your shit smells, because it's like, um, I guess, I hate to bring up that topic, but it's like I want to do like a collage of like all the like grifter videos, which are essentially the same thing, because they were they were saying John Favreau is like was it trying to destroy Star Wars by firing Gina Carino, and they're using like photos of him like when he's all buff, and like from Four Christmases, which is such a choice, because it's like out of
It's
all
a
the,
weird
yeah, out of
movie
all,
choice. Yeah.
it's not a good movie at all, but like out of all the Favreau movies, you choose that one. It's not like Made
Yeah.
or Fingers, but anyway.
No, but like, yeah, it's just bizarre that it has that reputation online because it's like it's a movie that like tried to like
Right. And I was gonna
do
say,
things.
yeah, exactly. I was gonna say, going to the Favreau thing, dislike or like the Mandalorian, like, all these fans liked Favreau up until up until that firing, and now like suddenly he's the person destroying Star Wars, and it's like go, please go outside, like get a hobby, play Dungeons and Dragons, like Maybe get a dating app or something. you know,
Anything, you know,
anything. God.
I think all of our Star Wars discussions will end with this. We like Star Wars. We would like to continue enjoying Star Wars. If we don't, it's okay too. We got other stuff
Yeah.
going on because Star Wars isn't our whole lives. Should not be anyone's whole life unless you're creating it. And even then, you got to have stuff after that. You know, that was the message George Lucas attempted to instill. And
Yeah.
also why I think it's going to be a while before you see this trilogy, uh, should it continue to come to fruition like we've been told it will.
Hmm.
Because also, like George Lucas said, if you make a trilogy, that's a decade of your life you're dedicating to a single film series, a saga. That's a lot. If you're younger like us, then that is, that's a good chunk of your life right there. You know, it's like a third of your life
Yeah.
moving forward. If you're like our age, and so that makes sense that he'd be like, let me continue making my little Knives Out films, my little mid-budget films. I think he might. I think Ryan Johnson might be the key to like reestablishing the mid-budget film
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
Which is exciting. But yeah, I think that's why it'll be a while. I would love to see it for the 50th anniversary, 2027 for his first one. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm excited regardless. And I guess just moving on after that, Gene, what else have you been watching lately? What would you recommend for the people at home, or not recommend if you didn't like it?
Sure. Yeah. I've been watching a lot of Redbox movies, and I've occasionally gone to the drive-in now that the numbers are down in California. Um, but first off, I would really want to recommend Saint Maud, which finally released from A24 because it was supposed to come out in 2020 of last year, and it screened at a film festival. I think TIFF, um, TIFF, yeah, and it screened there in 2019, and then people were hyped, and then you know 2020 happened. So I saw this at the drive-in, and I don't know, it seemed like kind of like a midnight movie where it was like this weird kind of like horror movie, but then it was also like The Exorcist and kind of like Carrie, where it's like about a young woman kind of like struggling with her faith. Like it's like it's in like England, that kind of UK area, and this girl is like having visions of all this trauma that she went through, and it's like tied to her Catholic faith. And she, and it's just like, God, this is like creeping me out because I'm watching this like at 10:30 outside in a parking lot, in a parking lot essentially, and it really creeped me out, and I'm glad I saw it. And what's her name? The main actress. You're gonna have to help me out. Um, Morphoid Clark.
Okay, it looks like her name is Morfydd Clark.
Morphoid
I
Clark.
might be
Yes.
wrong. I
Right.
am not Irish
She's Welsh.
or Welsh. I am not. See, not a great run anyway. It's not a great start for me.
It's all right, but it was pretty good. I really enjoyed that movie.
Yeah, a lot of people are watching it right now. It's got a lot of good buzz. So I'm interested in checking that out.
Yeah, you should.
Other people are hyping up something called The Empty Man, which is I guess like a serious version of the Bye Bye Man, judging by the title. But I've heard really good things, so I guess check out those two if you're listening out there. I recently rewatched Miami Vice, as one does, because it's the best movie ever.
It is.
But I also watched Peninsula. I rented Peninsula.
I'm glad you did, because I recommended that to you.
Yeah, that's why. It's a solid movie. I didn't like it as much as Train to Busan, but it's tons of fun. I think it has a little bit of the big movie problem where everything has to be like the most dramatic thing ever, and it's like there's a lot of like emotional fake outs that I'm not crazy about, but like the set pieces are super inventive, tons of fun. And even though the emotional fake out stuff does get a little tiring, it all like works, I wish the ending it is Mad Max with zombies, which is great. Another great Mad Max with zombie movies is Wormwood, Road of the Dead. I highly recommend that. It used to be on Netflix. I don't think it is anymore, but that's a really fun splatter movie. Peninsula might be a little stronger visually, or actually a lot stronger visually, but like I don't know which one I prefer. They're both tons of fun. But yeah, I really had a good time with Peninsula, and like, yeah, that's like the kind of movie like I would want to make, like in a genre mashup type stuff. The zombie cage fight, that's just like that's a nerd dream right there. You know, like that's
Yeah.
like that must have been tons of fun to cook up, with like the
Yeah.
art department and everything like that, and all the production design. And I also watched Judas and the Black Messiah because it's now
Yes.
available on HBO Max.
Right.
That's a great fucking film.
Yeah, it is.
That's a fantastic film.
I'm glad you saw it.
Yeah, because well, one, I didn't know I was playing Sundance, and two, I by the time I did, it was over. It was packed. But I really, that's a terrific film, and I think the biggest problem with it is that it's just like a dramatic, like a dramatization of events. It can't be as insightful as like a documentary because it's just not reality. It's a telling of reality, you know, like, and I mean that's like the if that's the biggest problem with your film, like a biopic, that's a pretty good problem to have, you know.
Yeah.
But no, that's a terrific film. I'm wondering if they're going to push it for Oscars because I think it would get some, and I think this is like only the dude's Shaka King's second film, right?
Yeah.
Feature film. This is like
pretty early in his career.
yeah, it's a film by a seasoned pro basically, and that's pretty nuts.
I was gonna say, I'm not sure if you knew who wrote it, but it was. Have you heard of them? They're pretty like real. They're really funny. The Lucas brothers.
Yeah, the Lucas brothers. I like those guys. I only found out about them because of 22 Jump Street, and I was like, hey, those guys are hilarious. And then I kind of followed their career after that. Yeah, they're so they're funny comedians and they're great screenwriters. So keep your eye on those two, as well as everyone else in this film, and of course Lakeith Stanfield, who plays just like a perfect like a dude between a rock and a hard place. You know?
Yeah, because he's like, I don't know if like his character, like, you know, obviously it shows like he's like what he's doing is like skeevy and like bad, but like it's like, wow, it's like he really had like no other choice. It's like, what could he have done, you know?
He would have had to have like fallen on his own sword, and he didn't. It's complicated. The film doesn't let him off the hook, but it also is like,
yeah, that's supposed to be a real guy, and then like the guilt,
yeah, that's right,
of, like what he did caused him to like take his own life.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah. Both the leads should be up for actors nominations. Yeah. I also saw Dead Pigs, Kathy Yan's debut feature, which I've been hankering to see for years and years and years now, since 2018 when it hit Sundance, and no one picked it up. And in the aftermath of Birds of Prey, which is an excellent film as well, Dead Pigs finally was released on Mubi, which I got a 3-month subscription for 90 days free. Yay! When you signed up for Dead Pigs, I don't know if it's available anymore. Sorry, but I'd really recommend getting Mubi subscription because there's a lot of great like independent and foreign film stuff you could find there, and older films on there too. But Dead Pigs is great. It's totally Kathy Yan's calling card film. It doesn't feel like the debut of a filmmaker. And it takes influence from the actual 2013 Huangpu River dead pigs incident, which also had floating dead pigs down a river. But Kathy, a former journalist who turned filmmaker, used that to take aim at like the disparate lives in the community of Shanghai, from like various working class to like the wealthy, and like how the economy kind of like revolves around these different people, and how everyone's affected by like the need to like sustain progress and like wealth. And it's fantastic. It's better than I hoped for, and I hope everyone can check it out finally. I'm gonna put it on my best of the year list because it came out this year for me.
You know,
so
Kathy,
sorry.
Yeah, Kathy Yen had the last laugh because Birds of Prey is technically the highest grossing comic book movie of 2020. So
yeah, of the decade. We'll see how long that lasts. Yeah. So take that, haters.
Yeah. I was just gonna throw out a few films.
Yeah. Go ahead.
You said Miami Vice, and you know what I saw recently? It kind of reminded me of Miami Vice, which I don't know if you've seen. The Hitman's Bodyguard.
I did. That is nothing like Miami Vice, but go ahead.
But like no, but just the two leads reminded me of that. But like Hitman's Bodyguard, because you liked Six Underground, right?
Yeah.
Hitman's Bodyguard walked so Six Underground could run, because they're kind of like the same movie of having like an action movie that's trying to like topple a dictator and hold them accountable, but
Mhm.
like the way they present themselves politically and in terms of like the politic of like overthrowing a dictator isn't like action movie terms. So
Mhm.
like someone gets tried in court, but then like when they're trying them at the Hague, like there's a bomb explosion, there's like a car chase, there's like a helicopter thing, and I guess he does a testimony, like it goes on record for the to convict the dictator played by Gary Oldman, but then he also tries to escape, and Samuel L. Jackson, who's testifying against him, kills him. So I don't know the legality of what happens there. And then too, like also just kind of seeing that movie was a little cathartic with a trial that happened recently. But Samuel Jackson's great, and I really enjoy Ryan Reynolds a lot. He's good in that.
Yeah,
Those
I wanted
like
to
that.
like that one. I
Okay.
didn't like it. I'm glad you enjoyed it though, because
I couldn't stop like enjoying it for whatever reason.
the premise is solid. That
Yeah.
I want to like that more than I do. Maybe I'll revisit it. I know it's got a sequel coming out. The Hitman's
Bodyguard's wife.
Yeah. It's just like, okay, that's like a goofy title for a movie like that. I'm into it. We'll see how it comes
Yeah.
together. But
Yeah.
who knows? Who knows? But yeah, I Samuel L. Jackson, that dude does not fuck around. That guy is just one of the most reliable movie stars we'll ever have.
Yeah. I was gonna say also Freaky, which I enjoyed from Blumhouse.
Oh, tell me about it. I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, okay. Despite having Vince Vaughn, it is directed by Christopher Landon, and it has what's her name from Detective Pikachu, Catherine Newton, and she's great. Um, Unfortunately, it has Vince Vaughn, but he's bearable in that movie, and seeing him play like against type and playing like a teenage girl, is actually funny. So I thought it was like a nice, it reminded me of Happy Death Day. It's a nice like concept, and they executed it pretty well. Is it the best movie? Probably not, but I enjoyed myself. Yeah, I thought it was pretty. Just this nice Blumhouse film.
Yeah,
Like
that movie looks like tons of fun. And Christopher Landon, the writer and director, also said that. I mean, this could just be like uh, um, promotional talk. He was like, "Yeah, it'd be fun to do like a crossover between
Right.
that and Happy Death Day." Like
Need the third one first, though.
Freaky Death Day. Yeah, I want that third film really bad. Really, really bad.
Right.
But we'll see. We'll see. Freaky Death Day sounds like fun. Yeah, I'm into it. I want to see that. I got that on my list.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I really quick before you round off your stuff, I saw Michael Mann's original version of Heat for the first time.
Oh, nice.
L.A. Takedown, the TV film which eventually sprung Heat, and no one talks about it. Boy, for good reason. I'm sorry. This is the first Michael Mann film I've ever seen where I was just not into it at all. I am an obvious biased Michael Mann fan, but it just does not work. The TV budget limitations and time frame completely compresses everything he's going for. Not just with like in terms like comparing it to Heat. There's no comparison. Heat's one of the best movies ever. This is a forgotten TV movie.
Yeah.
There's like moments of inspiration with like the visual cues and like how he's with the framing and the mise en scène.
Mm-hmm.
But generally, it's just like it's a wash.
Yeah.
The casting is all wrong. The actors can't sell a dialogue. I'm shocked it exists. Honestly,
that's unfortunate. Has his book come out? Is he still writing? He has the time.
He's still writing. And I think he's going back to work on Tokyo Vice, which he's going to be his HBO show with Baby Driver, which may not be starring Baby Driver anymore. For reasons we don't have time to get into, quite frankly.
Problematic people
they just keep popping up. Folks, don't have heroes. Not that Baby Driver was anyone's hero ever for any reason, but you know what we're saying. But yeah, no, he has time, and I believe his Ferrari film is still on the table as well. So even though he produced Le Mans, what was the Ford v Ferrari? I don't know why I couldn't remember that. I like that movie, and I couldn't remember.
All together.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. But yeah, he produced that and he still got his in the works. Um, but yeah, it just made me think like, wow, I've seen his incomplete version of The Keep, which is like a great vibes movie, but not like a really great movie.
Yeah.
And yeah, super disappointed. But what are you gonna do? I'll always have everything else he's ever done.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, but what about you? Anything want to round out before we
Uh,
read off the tweets and lean into the big subject for today?
right. Yeah. I have two more we could do.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, go ahead.
Really quick was Jungle Land, which was an independent boxing movie that starred Charlie Hunnam, which was good. And then it also has one actress. I don't know if people know her, but she was in that Netflix show, End of the Fucking World. Jessica Barden. She's really good in it. And it's just like a nice road trip movie. And the last film, I'm trying to also just be just respectful and approach the subject because I really enjoyed Shadow in the Cloud, which had some unfortunate history with it, with a certain person that shouldn't be named. But the creative team, which are all women, really, I don't know how to approach this because I'm trying to be, respectful and, don't want to, cause, you know, make it.
Yeah, yeah. I think the woman that ended up taking on the project. I think in some capacity it's just kind of hard or even impossible to distance themselves from the original creator who is an awful monster person
Yeah.
because it was his spec script.
Mhm.
But also like this industry is hard and sometimes you just gotta go, you gotta um, deal the hand you're dealt, right? And from what I've heard, it's a solid genre movie, and I'll let you just continue. But I just wanted to say that, like,
Okay.
don't hold the women accountable for someone they never met. Is all.
Right. Because
Maybe there's more blurred lines in between that, but
yeah, I try to be a very thoughtful, respectful person. I don't want to say the wrong thing to offend any listeners or what have you. But yeah, I mean, like it's cool that a woman who's I believe she's from Australia and a lot of the people were from Australia or no, yeah, she was New Zealand. Excuse me, when I say Australia, my bad. But yeah, it's cool that they like made something of like that, and it's I really enjoyed the soundtrack because it's super John Carpenter like synth wave, and like it's really cool that it's like a gremlin and it's like World War II, and it's just like a cool version of it's a cool version of that Twilight Zone episode with a gremlin on the wing of the plane, but like they don't like have to land, it's like, but it's that to like a ninth degree. They have to shoot the gremlin off and like fight it, and she kills the gremlin. Sorry, spoilers. She kicks it in the fucking face, and she does this while having protecting a little baby, you know. So she's like a mom too. So I'm like, oh, that's cool.
oh, that is very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know any of that, so now
You
I
don't.
know.
Yeah, you don't fuck with moms.
That's true. That's true. But what
Yeah.
was the final movie you had?
Oh, we were gonna go into No Man Land right in the next topic.
Yes, and
Okay.
then Man from Uncle.
Yeah, I was just gonna say Breach, which is like it's weird. All the Bruce Willis red box cinema period of his life right now, because it's like these are like movies that you see like those fake movie posters that you see like in the Lax Action Hero or like parody movie posters in The Onion. It feels like that, but it's like an okay movie. It's just kind of like I don't know what's going on with Bruce Willis.
He's Bruce Willis.
Yeah,
We'll have to leave it at that for now.
yeah,
We should do like a best Bruce Willis movies
yeah,
episode at some point because I think his best days are behind.
yeah. It's but like he's just like such a weird guy where it's like, he's obviously not like Stallone, like being obnoxious, um, you know, hanging out with Donald Trump. But then he's not like Arnold, where he's like progressive and like, oh, well, thank you, Arnold, for maturing. He's just kind of like there. And he's not really doing too much. And like, people aren't really, he's not having a renaissance, which I guess oddly the other two are, like Arnold and Stallone. I would say Arnold less about movies and more like actually like progression and like politics. But like, yeah, Bruce Willis is just there, like he's like, are you gonna do another Die Hard? I want to just have my burgers. Apparently, he had
Yeah,
to cook. You know, and then he's also quarantining not with his wife, his ex-wife, Demi Moore.
I didn't know that.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah. That's
breaking news, folks, over
yeah.
at the Waffle Press, I guess.
Well, I mean, it's in like trade journals and stuff, but yeah,
Oh
it's
yeah, of course. But I'm just that's
yeah.
funny.
I don't know. They have kids. I don't know. She's divorced from Ashton Kutcher.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah,
But weird turn on that. But all right, Bruce
yeah,
Willis getting work.
yeah. Because he does. Yeah, I don't know. He's just like Bruce Willis just baffles me because it's like you would expect him to like say something really dumb, but he doesn't. But then he says like, "Stop asking me about my politics." I guess he's not like being obnoxious, but it's like he has like terrible views, most
Yeah.
likely. But at least he doesn't say anything. I don't know. It's just like he's just there, just an oddity. Like if you saw him, sorry if I'm going on a rant. If you
No,
saw
whatever.
him like out on
On
the
this show, never.
yeah, if like you saw him out on the street, like in Hollywood, it's like seeing Bigfoot out in the wild. It's like he's wearing a mask, but then not really. He has it like under his nose. It's like what an odd person.
Yeah.
It's like a Bigfoot.
Speaking of American stuff, I don't know. I got no transition to this, but
Sorry,
let's read some responses from the Twitter so we
Okay.
can lead into Nomadland because I asked people what they were watching, what they're looking forward to, and a couple things people are looking forward to are Dune from @JacobKnight. Whenever it comes out, and I agree. Whenever it comes out, I need to go back to that book because it's a little dense. I'll get there.
I'm reading the book right now.
At Billy Jarrett Ugg, been watching some Scott Adkins stuff that's on Netflix, and those have been great. Scott Adkins is one of our great martial artists, specifically in the direct-to-video action arena. He's terrific. Liam, if you're out there, put him in Skyline 4. You know this, but just a reminder. And Kale, the movie Kale, wants to know what's worth bringing up and if anyone's seen Nomadland yet, which is our next topic of discussion. But they're also looking forward to Cherry and Chaos Walking.
Yeah, I really want to see Cherry, even though you're like lukewarm on the Russo brothers. That cast seems pretty cool.
That cast sure looks like a bunch of high school students. Tom Holland, innocent. Yeah, but Nomadland, Nomadland. I gave it my number one spot last year for movies in 2020. I am totally down if people want to put it for 2021 movies because time has no meaning anymore. But what does have meaning is this film. Gene, you just saw it more recently than I did again.
Right.
What did you think of Nomadland?
Yeah, I had a screener for KCRW, which is a great radio source. But yeah, I was really moved by the movie. It seemed very like cinema verite, I guess is the term, because it's like real people, like the actual people that it's based on a story, and they bring those people in, and they act really well, but they're literally acting their lives, which is they're nomads and they live kind of like in I don't know, a commune, I guess is the term.
Yeah, I think that's proper.
Essentially, they live on the land, and these are people that financially are like hurting from various parts of America, particularly like the like Midwest, the South, and these are all people that have been affected, like stuff where like they closed down a coal mine, and even though like coal is you would want to like not get rid of coal, but like transition out of coal because it can be bad. You also have to move that industry and like retrain the workers and like I think the term's forewarn or like move help these people like move to another industry if you're literally like destroying the main job that their economy is like based in. And it really explores that because like I think the place that she's from literally became, I was reading an interview or something, became like a ghost town because they took away the coal mine. These people had like nothing else to support themselves, and it's also kind of like very illuminating because like I don't like I hate to get like like too current events, which sometimes gets a little
No, fuck it, let's do it.
because it's like that could also be like their own could it be democratic and whatever. But then also the fact, like, you know, even if like there's still people suffering, you know, like you can't just, you know, villainize like a whole state, you know, like that's pretty messed up.
Yeah, I mean, like, I mean, the subject matter of like Nomadland is that like, you know, all these people had like, we live in like a culture and society that like is about, you know, people pulling themselves up by their bootstraps and getting to work, and it's like, well, we have another way to make that money faster, so we're going to put you out of work, but the people at the top are going to make more money. This is
Yeah.
a story about what happens to the people that don't get
Yeah.
to do that anymore. And you know, on the Texas subject too, you know, it's like it is very heartless to see people
Like suffering.
saying stuff like that. Yeah, and it's like it's so awful. If I'll probably put like a link in the bio also to send donations to like Texas
Yeah,
health
there's
and welfare stuff, because like, you know, it's like saying Medicare for all. It's like, yeah, even if you're a Republican, if you're fucking Ted Cruz, I want you to have Medicare for all, because motherfucker, it's for everyone, even
yeah,
if you're
exactly.
a shithead. You know, your
Yeah.
life is your problem. You know, I wish you unwell, but it's for everyone. You know, you don't get to determine like who lives and dies. That's fucked up. The people need to be taken care of, and this is a story kind of about how people learn to take care of each other when no one else will.
Yeah.
You know, so I think such a beautiful film, and Chloe Zhao really taps into like the heart of like America. Really, like it's not about like this iconography that makes us great. It's about like the people that can take care of each other. You know, and I mean, like look at the last year alone, like how bad things have gotten, and look at how many stories there are of people going out of their way to help each other. You know, like yeah, there's some people that hurt each other still, but like more often than not, I've seen far more stories about people coming together to help.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know, and that's pretty great. Also, Chloe Zhao should win Best Director, but
I
hey,
hope so. Yeah, in a perfect world. And then, you know, excited more for Eternals too.
yeah, because she's not born in America. She's not from America. She comes from a wealthy, well-off family in China. You know, she makes like her family makes the fucking family in Succession look like the Muppets. You know, it's like ridiculous, but her artistry taps into something very authentic and very human, and all of her work is about like what it means to be human in a world where that's kind of a little difficult, you know, where you're
Yes.
almost like shamed for being human. um and yeah, she's a fantastic filmmaker, and Eternals and everything else she does after her Dracula Western hybrid
Mhm.
sounds awesome,
Yeah, it
and I
really
can't
does.
wait for that. But yeah, Nomadland, you heard it's great. You're gonna hear that for a while because it just is. Any final thoughts before we move on to the final film we're here to talk about today?
No, I don't think so. I mean, just try to go see it. I mean, it's going to be on Hulu, so yeah, thankfully.
Yeah, check it out. I wish I could see it on the big screen. If anyone else gets a chance to in a safe manner, congratulations, you're in for a real treat. What I did see on the big screen back of the day was The Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Yeah,
Gene, did you?
yeah, I think I don't know if we saw it together or what have you, but we did both see it.
Yeah, I think our opinions on it have kind of evolved. Do you remember? I think we've definitely talked about it in the past, but not since we saw it. What did you think of The Man from U.N.C.L.E. back then? And then I'll say about what I thought about it back then, and we'll talk about it now.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I still like enjoy it. I think I enjoyed it the first watch. It was like really, I don't know, not what I expected. I'm trying to remember the last Guy Ritchie movie before that. Before The Man from U.N.C.L.E. I don't know if it was like Rock and Rolla.
I think, you know what? I just got to check that.
Yeah, it's all right. But yeah, I
Clickety
mean,
click.
I didn't enjoy it as much as like another Guy Ritchie movie, like I don't know, like King Arthur. We'll talk about that later.
Sherlock Holmes,
Oh, that's
Game of
right, Sherlock
Shadows.
Holmes.
Yeah.
Yeah, like yeah, that I really enjoyed. But yeah, I don't know. I was a little lukewarm, but I was still enjoying it. Yeah.
Yeah, I also I thought it was okay. It almost kind of like washed over me, but I thought the marketing was tons of fun. It looked like a fun like a spy action adventure comedy. I thought Alicia Vikander was
Yeah,
excellent, and
I was
I
gonna
thought
say.
the leads were solid.
Yeah,
Um,
I was gonna
we
say
don't,
Alicia Vikander is just great. I love her when she's like
yeah,
dancing and stuff.
she
Iconic.
like steals the movie. Yeah. She's terrific. She had a big year that year because she also did Ex Machina.
Mhm.
She's great, and I hope she continues to do more things. It feels like she kind of went away after Tomb Raider, unfortunately. But I mean, that was
Hmm,
right before the pandemic, so maybe she's got movies in vaults somewhere.
maybe.
But she steals the movie, and I'm proud to say that she still steals it now, having revisited it, having found like what movies kind of are like more to my taste, like being more comfortable in like what I'm interested in movies. I think I think we both slept on this movie. I don't
Yeah,
think it's like a runaway hit. I think it's tons of fun though, and I think it doesn't get its credit for just being like a really lean, mean, like entertaining blockbuster. It's made very cheap for like $75 million,
yeah,
and it doesn't feel cheap. You know, it
yeah.
constantly is very classy. The tailored suits are fantastic. The
Mhm.
wardrobes are stunning. Like it's a movie you want to play like dress up with. You know, like every once in a while you watch a movie with like just the best wardrobes ever, and it's like that's a fun Halloween costume. That's a fun Halloween costume. I want to see cosplay of that. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, what did you think of your recent rewatch of The Man from Uncle?
Yeah, no, I was really enjoying it because I guess I also rewatched King Arthur, or I was just rewatching scenes from King Arthur also just to put me in the mood. And yeah, I mean, I was really enjoying it, and I guess I don't know, I was joking this to you in our DM, but it's like, I think I said to you like, oh man, like why read Jordan Peterson and like 12 Rules of Life when you could just watch a Guy Ritchie movie. One, it's not written by a weirdo, I don't know, like a weirdo misogynist. What have I don't know what the fuck he
He's a
is.
lot of things,
There's a lot of
including
things.
those.
Yeah, like when you could just watch a Guy Ritchie movie that gives you like practical life lessons, and then like also, because it's like his movies are like about correct me if I'm wrong, like a lot of them are about like manhood or responsibility, but like their manhood in a very untoxic sense, I guess, where it's
Yeah.
like I'm sorry if I'm veering into King Arthur, which is
No,
also kind of like
no. I think it's fair because that's. I think there's a lot of almost similarities in that.
yeah.
Richie's stuff tends to be more class conscious, I think, than he gets credit for. I think he kind of runs into a little bit of problems with The Gentleman, which I otherwise
Right,
enjoyed too.
I enjoyed.
Which
And
isn't
also,
perfect, but
yeah, The Gentleman and King Arthur, I guess, are in the same universe.
oh yeah, for I don't want to say because I know a lot of people actually haven't seen those movies.
Yeah,
Look for the actor who plays George in both
George in both
films.
movies.
Yeah,
One's the descendant of one, descendant of him. But yeah, and like Guy Ritchie, like I don't know, yeah, it's like very like learn, it's stuff like learn to defend yourself, help try to help out other people when you can, when you can actually make a difference that's meaningful. Keep networking, it's good to make friends, try to like be a good friend to people. These are, like stuff like that I would appreciate more than like fucking, make your bed every morning. It's like, well, it's obvious you should make your bed because it's unmade. Why would you need to tell someone that?
yeah. That's
Honestly,
that's perfect. Honestly, like
he
from our
doesn't even make his.
conversation. Yeah.
The Kermit the Frog guy doesn't even make his own bed. You've seen that. You've seen that. He doesn't. Guy Ritchie makes his bed all the time, and then he makes his dad's bed if he's like at his parents' house. If they're in like he helps his wife. I don't know. He was married to Madonna. Why wouldn't you listen to that guy instead of like a weirdo that was living in a Russian hospital in a coma?
Oh yeah, that was weird. That Jordan Peterson was just in a Russian hospital coma
Mm-hmm.
for like 6 months last year. That's how weird last year was.
What?
That news flew under the radar.
Yes, it's a very unfortunate circumstances that brought him there. Then he was also taking experimental medication.
Yeah, like
I know people are.
generally you feel for any person going through struggles, but that's also Jordan Peterson. He did it to himself. I don't care that much.
Yeah, the Chad Guy Ritchie
The
versus
Chad guy,
Virgin
exactly.
versus the Virgin Peterson.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with virgins, but there is stuff wrong with Jordan
It's
Peterson.
right.
Yeah,
It's the
I know,
meme I'm going
Yeah,
for.
no, I know the meme. I know the meme. But back to the Man from Uncle. It's also just like a really smooth like style film. Like there's a lot of like eccentricity with like the cutting and like the framing of the action and just like how like animated it almost is. Like it's a really fun movie. Like it's kind of more energetic than like I think some of the older Bond films that get
Oh
credit for
yeah, I
that.
mean,
Like
yeah,
it's Guy Ritchie probably could have made a killer Bond film or a killer
I could've-
Kingsman film. Um, probably with like better like gender politics too.
right.
Uh, and like the villain in this, Elizabeth Debicki, who is 6'3", is
Oh,
fantastic, and he lets her be tall, which is important. That's how you know like a movie uses Elizabeth Debicki well, is if they let her be tall.
yeah,
Christopher Nolan only sometimes let Elizabeth Debicki be tall, and that's why I think Tenet was controversially received. But Man from Uncle lets her be like this sprawling, like almost like glam obsessed villain. You know, the rest of the cast also gets to like just wear the again like fantastic wardrobe stuff in this
yeah.
film. And I love the chemistry between the leads. I want to say the two, but really it's like kind of the three with Alicia Vikander, like we
Right.
said.
You know, and then his women in his movies, I mean, they're all pretty like independent and very like I don't know, kind of like feminist. I don't know if you
Yeah, they're
said
not. They're like they're always competent, and if they have like flaws, it's like it's no more pronounced than the flaws in the men, and it's like there for a reason.
like,
He lets them be like human beings, which is like it goes miles and miles. For fiction like this, I think Guy Ritchie should have done Solo. Honestly,
that'd be
like
cool,
I think that would have made Solo like a great film.
right? Yeah, because there's elements of that like in Solo, like you know the stuff. What does he say? Like his dad was like he was essentially he made the Corellian the Millennium Falcon. I forgot the name of the Millennium Falcon. I'm not that much of a nerd. But like you know his dad like died on the planet and he was like I guess abandoned him, but like you know his attachment to the Millennium Falcon is revealed to be like because his dad made that type of spaceship on a conveyor belt, you know, like that's pretty
Mhm.
meaningful. I wish that was explored more. And I really enjoy Solo because I get annoyed when people try to dunk on that movie because I think it's a brilliant movie. It just suffers from being of two or three minds, you know.
Yeah. I like Solo too. When we did that Solo Netflix watch party last year, I had fun with everyone
We gave
talking
people
about it.
free scripts of the Colin Trevorrow episode 9.
Oh yeah, we did. Huh?
Yeah,
I
we
mean,
gave
that's
that
just out there for anyone
yeah.
interested.
We didn't
But
give free illegal memes, no.
yeah, no. Twitter is everything is legal on Twitter. No, um, but no, I want to say though that I think one of the things that hold Man from Uncle from being like top tier Richie, like this is probably like in the bottom ring for me of him. Still good.
Yeah,
I want
so great.
to. I really did enjoy this movie, but like the it's maybe not as insightful. It's a pure like exercise in style and like fun, and that's totally fine. Some movies just need that. I'm not going to like The Raid, which is like an exercise in just fucking insane action sequences for the answers to Tree of Life. You know what I mean? I'm getting two different things out of those movies. Man from Uncle, which is oddly not as insightful as King Arthur Legend of the Sword, um
Which
it's
is
still
like,
tons of fun. And I think
yeah,
if you discover this on like HBO, I don't know if it's on HBO Max right now or
I don't
anything.
know. Yeah,
It's a Warner Brothers movie, so it'll get there eventually if it's
probably will.
not. Yeah. But like if you stumble upon it, I think you'll have a great time. I wish more like mid-level blockbusters were this fun. Just there's nothing wrong with just having a good time once in
Yeah,
a while.
yeah, exactly.
Uh, Unlike King Arthur, which is a great time, and also
Slaps.
Guy Ritchie's Star Wars.
Right, yeah. I wish we saw like fucking 9 of those movies. And
They had
brilliant
6
fucking movies.
planned. They got to do
Well,
comic books or something, man. Like they're too
yeah.
cool.
Like, let's get the Snyder cut of that. Whoever didn't see that movie, for shame. For shame. And
Yeah. It's like I got to put that with like Duncan Jones's Warcraft and Jupiter Ascending in like my category of weirdo blockbusters that just never got love, and now people are coming to them and they're like, hey, that's really good, and I'm like, yes it is, yes it is. Man from U.N.C.L.E is not quite there. It's just not. But I know this film also has a huge online fan base because Henry Cavill Superman and Army Hammer Army Hammer better, again, something we don't have time to get into, but the chemistry between them,
and the other does unmentionable things.
But the chemistry between the two apparently garnered a big fan base online because of like the homoerotic tension between them, and I just thought that was tons of fun. Like that's like the leftover from like the Tumblr era where everyone was like shipping like Sherlock Holmes and John Watson on that Sherlock show and stuff like that. And I don't know, it's harmless fun, but I could totally see it, I could see that happening in the sequel. Although, to be fair, Alicia Vikander and Armie Hammer did have crazy chemistry as well in this one, and that would have been fun if not for revelations about Armie Hammer. It's so weird to talk about movies now because it's like, oh yeah, that person got exposed as being like a psychopath. That person got exposed as being like a horrible monster. Man from U.N.C.L.E will alleviate those things for you. And they'll help you forget about them for about 2 hours. There you go.
What if they digitally replaced Armie Hammer? Because Armie Hammer was apparently supposed to be Batman at one point. Replaced him with Christian Bale, who's surprisingly progressive.
I'd be cool with that.
Progressive Christian Bale.
I'd be cool with that. Christian Bale playing a Russian. That'd be sure. Yeah, why not?
What was the quote from Christian Bale? He's like, you should just stop having all these white guys. You've just seen all these stories from like just this white perspective. What did he say? It was like
he said something like that where he's like, we got to stop letting the white guys run stuff or something.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, he's right.
I appreciate you, Bale.
I do too.
Yeah, and then when he yelled at his crew member, he apologized for it, and he bought him apparently a motorbike, which Tom Cruise has not done to that guy that he yelled at as of this recording. Not apologized. Because, you should, even if they make mistakes, you need to treat your crew with respect.
Yeah. It's probably not a mistake that more crew members left that film set.
Yes.
But again, something we don't have time to get into. Sorry, the industry is very weird right now. Or it's always been weird. Now it's just all coming out. But yeah, any final thoughts on The Man from U.N.C.L.E? This was a Patreon request by Avery Perrott. Thank you, Avery Perrott, for this. We've been talking. They've requested several films, so we'll be doing this for the next couple episodes. And Gene and I do this catch up, and we'll also be preparing for March Monster Madness, because we're getting ready for the Kaiju Smackdown of the new century with Godzilla versus Kong. We're doing an episode on the Toho films. We're doing an episode on the Monsterverse. We're doing an episode on GVK Solo. We're gonna have guests popping by, and we're also gonna start talking about BVS. And I guess it's fair to announce it now, Gene, that we'll be doing that as a two-parter. You'll be covering it on Serving Up Comics with Nick Valero, and then we'll come back and do the second half over here.
Yes.
And we'll be balancing that out.
Crossover.
Yeah. Crossovers. We're gonna try to get a really fun guest for that one. There's someone in mind. I don't want to announce it in case they can't. Yeah. They've been here before, but I think we even talked about it on an episode last year, so it's not like a big surprise or anything like that. But we're also looking for more podcasting guests. So podcasting friends, expect reaching out. So reach out to us, and we'll be in touch. And we got a lot of stuff to talk about this year.
Yeah.
And I'm very excited about the rest of this year, even though things are pretty bad. The movie stuff seems to be going pretty good. I think things are getting better, and I think we have been getting better as we head into what is it, the 6th year of podcasting, like officially, right? Like, I mean, we really just kind of like been buckling down the last couple of years, but like, I don't know, it's been fun. It's been fun.
Officially 8.
Oh my God, has it really?
Yeah,
Are you sure?
yeah.
Oh wow.
It's
Okay.
like
Well,
2015 episodes that you have on your hard drive somewhere.
somewhere. Yeah, that was like a dry run though. I mean, that doesn't really count. That's like the LA takedown to our Heat now.
Yeah,
But yeah, no, I'm loving this, and thank you, Gene, for like being along and being my co-host on this journey.
thank you. Yeah,
And yeah, where can the people find you if we don't have anything else we want to talk about?
yeah. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram, G9892.
And you can follow me at the Diego Crespo. Check out the Waffle Press on Twitter, YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, and Patreon, where you can get early access to stuff like the Legend of Korra retrospective coming at you in March. I'm telling you, March is going to be a big month. God, is there anything else we need to talk about? Probably, but you know what? We'll be back in a week to be professionally unprofessional. So thank you.